tried to hold us back, to hold us, tried to hold us back.
We will be here forever. Do you understand?
This week I catch up with the very unique character that is Lachie Abbott. If you're at a bowl comp or a skate jam of some kind, Lachie is the guy that kind of everyone watches. He's like your favourite skater's favourite skater. When he drops in, you just never know what he's going to do next. And I don't think he actually knows what he's going to do next. And that's what makes it so entertaining and fun. He likes to go high. He likes to go fast. He doesn't wear pads. He just goes for it. And that translates into all other aspects of his life as well. He shares about his interests outside of skateboarding this week. And I found him to be quite an unassuming character. He's very creative. And that was a side of him I wasn't quite aware of. So hope you enjoy it. Sit back, relax, and get to know Lachie Abbott this week.
He tried to hold us, he tried to hold us back, for some fame.
Child of the crayon, child of the light, styles of the neon belong to a culture destined to rock for eons. Time doesn't exist, shut those cataracts, capture the virtualist. Now, let's get back to what makes things seem forever, whether it's unseen, unheard, or 16.
Huddy, you never know with Huddy.
Have you seen that kid around the traps?
Yeah, a little angry red man. He's like,
he's strong for his age, right?
yeah, and he's tough as nails. I've seen him take some hits, little Huddy, and just he's got tears out of his eyes. Just walk straight back up the stairs. I can't believe that little kid.
I know, he's like amazingly, like I said, tough and strong in the legs. Like other kids his age, sometimes you'll see him pump, and to get speed, they have to put their hands on their thighs
Yeah,
and push down.
yeah, no, he's strong. He's a
really
little
strong.
brick.
Is that what you were like?
No. I was definitely pushing on the knees a lot.
How old were you when you first started skating?
About 10.
10.
Yeah, so 9. I think I got 9. Yeah, about 10 years old.
It's
Got
late.
aboard.
That's late.
Well, in modern terms, I think there's a lot of people that would have started around that age that are my age. But for kids now, they're already. Well, Huddy's. How old's Huddy? 10.
10.
There you go. I wasn't doing 900s when I was 10. So.
Yeah. He's so well rounded too. Like not just 900s, he's flipping tricks, he's doing lip tricks, and
Yeah. No, it's cool to see how. I definitely think starting early is a big benefit in skateboarding, but I was always a bike rider.
okay, like
So-
BMX.
Yeah, BMX. I raced a lot of BMX as a kid. Started around 4, and I went to Worlds when I was, I think, 7 in Holland. And it was always the BMX was always my thing, which seems like it wouldn't translate well, but it's pumping. BMX jumps to transitions, pumping.
Yeah,
And then it's the fear aspect, I suppose, too. And skateboard, well, Dad broke his heel, so we weren't going racing BMX anymore because we used to do it together. And then I got a skateboard and, plywood and some ramps down the side street and started skating. So,
amazing. Are your parents supportive of it?
yeah. Mum and Dad always just let me do whatever I felt like, to be honest. Like, they're rad, good parents, but they're just like, yeah, want to go skate, go skate.
That's it. I mean, like when you started getting a bit better at it, did you start developing like aspirations for like a career or to make something out of it?
Yeah. Like,
What age?
well, 13, I think I won the Australians. They had that Manly Bowl Jam at the Australian Surfing Open. I won that at like 14. And I had Billabong and Surf Dove and Ski looking after me as a sponsorship. And I had definite aspirations to go to America then. But I was also working at the time. So in my spare time, I'd go to work with Dad. And, so 15, I wanted to move to America to try and have a crack at skating, but had a bit of an accident at work and broke my leg. And, that was like... So we were working and a steel beam fell on my leg and crushed it. And, then, like, in all fairness, that was like December 16th. And then the contract for the year, I was still keen to go skate and they'd given me a bit of travel money. Contract was supposed to come in December 31st and they just cut me because I broke my leg. So that it soured me up on the deal and I was like, fucking hang the board up. So,
How old were you?
15.
15.
Yeah.
And you're already working at that age.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the States, so I was doing fucking whatever I could to get some money behind me.
Labouring.
Yeah, plumbing, building houses. But
I didn't know that. It crushed your leg.
yeah, which is fine, dude. It's just like I got a metal pin through it. I was like pretty much good in a month. So, but then, yeah, it soured me up. But I was 15, and you can start driving race cars when you turn 16. So that was December. February, you can drive cars. And I was on the ground with a broken leg, and Dad was racing cars professionally. I was like, I'm driving your fucking race car, you know? Like, that's what...
So, wait up. So you had aspirations and dreams to be a race car driver as well?
No, not until that point. But skateboarding fell away. I had a broken leg.
And Dad said...
Well, I was like, I just told Dad, I was like, mate, I'm having a crack in your car. But, yeah, so that... I did that like 16 and 19. I probably didn't look at a skateboard, but I definitely had aspirations to be a pro skater up to that point.
Interesting. And, I mean, fast forward to nowadays, like you said, last time you skated was the Bondi Bowl Bash. I mean, that was 6 months ago. No, what are we in? No. It was in February. What are we in?
3 months ago at most.
4 months ago.
4 months, yeah. But
6 months, sorry. It's been a long year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, just is it because you're too busy working or you just don't have the desire?
No, that's probably a bigger stint for me to be off the board.
Yeah.
But where I am, I suppose, in life, there's only two dudes I want to go and skate with.
Yeah.
Is like, for the most part, Ryan and George. And we can just never line up a session. So I'm on my own a lot.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to go and do something on my own, I'll probably go and ride my bike.
Gotcha.
It's like out in nature. Trails near me are really good. It's heaps of fun. Skating's still heaps of fun, but I like doing it socially. Like, as we were talking about before, the social aspect of skateboarding, unmatchable, best sport, best, absolute prime. But I like going to the events because all my mates are there. We put a session on. It's a bunch of fun. So if I'm going to go skate, like I'm going to an event.
Few beers?
Yeah, a couple. Shano told me that I skate better when I'm not pissed, so I've been trying to taper that off, and I think he's right.
Are you? I mean, when you skate Belko Bowl Jam, for example, are you sober?
Close enough to it. Like 3 beers is about correct. You can't skate drunk, otherwise you skate terribly. And I think everyone gets that wrong about me. They see me get excited, think I'm drunk. I'm just excited.
You are just excited.
Yeah.
That's the same rule with pool, you know that? You play pool?
Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3. I can't play pool sober, but 3...
You're the best.
I think that's the best, and that's not drunk.
You're the best in the pub.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that. I'm just there for the session and you're excited.
Yeah, it's fun. Like skate events are so much more fun. You see all your friends turn up. It's a whole weekend. They're the ones to go to.
Do you think you're overexcited when you chipped your teeth at
100%. Way too keen.
on the Friday night at Belko Bowl Jam?
Out of my depth. Way too keen. But
tell the story. Tell the story for those that are unaware of what happened that day.
Well, I didn't bring my board down because I was building some features for the street event, which
Belko Bowl Jam.
Yeah, which were last minute features. So I was working really hard to get them done in the days prior. And also built that mini ramp that day. So I didn't bring my board down so I wouldn't be enticed to skate because I knew that I was too busy and had too much going on to try and take part in the event as well. But I got excited and grabbed someone's board and the ramp was just too wet. And rest is history, missing a bit of teeth. But that's all right. The dentist said like $700 she'll put some fillers in. I still haven't got it done, but I can't believe it took this long. I thought I would have smashed my teeth out years ago.
It's always when you least expect it.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't think it was going to, I don't know. I didn't know what I was thinking, But
for those that weren't there, they were putting extension after extension after extension. So I think it was up to about 4 extensions on a 6-foot mini ramp.
I think it was probably 6 foot over 6 foot. Might have been, yeah.
But so we're looking at like a 6-foot mini ramp with then 6 vertical extensions on.
Yeah.
No, 6 foot worth of extensions on top of that.
Which is such a rad concept to pyramid those extensions, like those Dime Glory challenges. When I seen it, I think I just got excited because it's fun.
Hell yeah.
Maybe if I'd gone extension by extension, it would have gone a bit better, but I waited till the top one was up there and I'm like, damn, that looks fun. But
So wait up, you didn't try any of the other extensions?
no, that was the first drop in of the day.
Of the day.
Yeah.
But there was also one other element to it. You had no shoes on.
Oh,
No, you had shoes on, didn't you?
no, I stepped on the ramp and they were like, your shoes are wet, so I took my shoes off.
So you did it barefoot.
Yeah, it was barefoot. But that was just,
It's wild.
yeah, that was fun, but it wasn't that fun hitting the ground.
Yeah, no. Did it hurt?
Nah, not really.
I mean, have your teeth hurt since?
No, I was really lucky it didn't hit any nerves. I just need a little bit of filler in the top, which I should put in soon. I've just been a bit lazy on that end. But,
I think it adds to your whole aesthetic, man.
yeah, that's it.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Save the money.
And you're like, and at least,
They're a bit sharper now too. It's easier to chew.
rip through steaks and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you know there's another dude that knocked his teeth out shortly after you?
I heard only on your podcast. I didn't see that. But
It was way heavier than your situation.
a wet ramp is prime for it because as soon as you put any weight in your toes, your board's gone.
A skate light
Skate light.
when it's wet.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. Luxford says no train tracks, pick straight lines, don't make train tracks. I've seen him skate. I haven't seen him skate do airs, grinds, like rip the ramp in pretty heavy rain, which is impressive.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I might not quite have the directional ability of Luxford, but
How'd you develop a friendship with Luxford?
always. Look, he'd always skate Monster, and he's taught me so many interesting things over the years, that guy. It is, I think when I was growing up skating, there were not many kids, there wasn't as many kids even nearly as there was now. So having a couple grommets that were keen on learning the art, the older guys, they'd give you the most helping hand, and everyone. There's a lot of people. It wasn't like paying for coach, and I can't believe there's enough kids you got to pay for coaching now. All they'd want to do is help you. So, yeah, Luxford taught me some interesting things. First, one of the most interesting things Luxford ever taught me, which is funny, is he just asked me what the strongest shape is. And I was like, I don't know. And he said, what's the strongest shape? And he's like, think about it. The next time you seen him, I'm like, it's a triangle. He's like, that's right. You can't push a triangle over. And it was something to do. He was teaching me something about skateboarding. But it was, I don't know why, that always stuck in my mind. Okay. And it works with engineering and everything. It was just, I know it seems like a real basic fact.
No, because it's got a wide base of support.
You can try and push a triangle over. And we were talking about something, I think it was building ramps. And he's like, as long as you're putting some triangles in there, it won't shake.
Is he the person that got you interested in constructing ramps and obstacles for skate events?
Well, there's the few. There's him, Andrew Harley, Shane Serena,
Boom.
and Scott Spring. He's built some rad stuff. So, like those 4 dudes, there's probably plenty of others I'm not mentioning, but for me, those 4 dudes, I've always thought building the parks and the actual construction of what we're skating is really interesting. And even looking at the ramps, you got to walk behind the stairs, and you walk up the stairs 1,000 times a session, so you're going to look at the way it's built. And I always found that interesting. And all those dudes all used to build their own ramps, and I thought that was really cool.
Hell yeah. You know, Hully was the first to ever build a vert ramp in Australia?
Yeah, he'll make you know it too.
Hell yeah. Claiming it.
Yeah, first proper vert ramp. There's a few funny stories about that.
And then Luxford, in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Luxford was the OG event ramp builder. So if there was an event, Luxford was the man that would bring the ramp and build it and set it up.
Yeah, well...
Am I right in saying that? He pretty much was, eh?
I think one of the pioneers.
One of them.
Depends which one you ask. All those boys will tell you they're the first. I know.
Shane Serena.
No, Shane won't tell you he's the first. Shane's a fair bit. He's probably 10 years younger.
Yeah.
But No, I've always kind of, especially that side of it, because I was building ramps. When I was learning to skate, I'd build all my own ramps down the side, just little plywood thingies, and you get some bricks and some plywood and little rails, and I always liked that end of it too a lot. So yeah, those boys, credit to them.
And so they were teaching the skills and their methods, and
Yeah,
not just in skating but in construction.
yeah, and it doesn't matter what you ask, and there's some really good people. Danny Van, for one, too, just in skating. Like, used to skate with Danny a bit just by chance, and he helped me out with heaps of stuff. Mick Mulhall, even Bondi Bowl Bash. I was asking Mick, I was like, hey, can't get any speed straight away. I'll just go, it seems natural to me to go ask someone like that, what do you reckon I'm doing wrong? Like, what can I fix here? And they'll just tell you. Like, there's wealth of knowledge with those people. And growing up, Phil may be a bit different to now, but growing up, that was always the way to do it. It's like, if you want to learn how to do something, go find someone that can do it and ask them how to do it. They'll just tell you.
Yeah.
They'll help you the whole way through.
That's how it always was. But do you think
Still
the culture's
is.
changed? Now it's like, I've got to go and pay a coach for that advice.
Maybe people are shy to ask because they know it's someone's job. And they get, I don't know if people are shy to ask. If you ask me, I'm not going to gatekeep any information,
Hell
like
yeah.
I'll help you all I can. But
What if you're in a comp with them?
yeah, what are you going to do? Try and gatekeep the info and then just, that's not winning. It's like, that's not the way to do it.
No.
You've got to help everyone along because, like, you can hit a point. A lot of people hit this point. If they're the best in town, big fish, small pond, you're not bringing everyone up with you. You're not going to get any better yourself. You can't gatekeep that. Luke Russell and me used to skate together all the time, and we would be just neck on neck, always trying to get a trick before the other one. We'd skate together. So anything Luke had, I'm like, and I want that. And if I got something before him, he straight away, it was like within an hour he'd have it.
Oh, shit.
But we'd skate together so we could both sort of bring each other up. Dude, he's better skateboarder than me now. He rips.
He does. Wollongong guy too.
Yeah. Luke, huge respect for Luke. I spent more time skating with Luke Russell than I have anyone else, I think.
He's a sweetheart. He's a really nice kid.
Really
I mean,
good
I only
kid.
remember him as a kid, but now he's a full man.
He's funny too. He's quite shy, but he's pretty funny. You could see the comedy in Luke.
Really?
Yeah. I went skating with him at least a year ago now, and he hadn't skated vert in a long while. And I always remember his first run. He popped out on the deck at Monster, and there's the roll-ins off the deck, and I think it was first or second run, front side flipped to fakie into the roll-ins off the deck, like front side flip, fakie. And then he did a half cab, so no grab, half cab looking at me, and he was just laughing. He was talking to me while he was doing
platform
off the platform into the roll-ins.
Front side or backside?
Front side flip, fakie.
But front side half cab or backside half cab?
Backside half cab. So as he's looking, and I was standing on the deck, he was looking at me, talking to me while he's doing a fucking half cab.
No way. That'd be so scary.
He's phenomenal. If you actually watch Luke skate, and all the boys, like, it's actually kind of a rare opportunity, but if you get to watch him skate, unreal.
Did you connect with him just from skating Monster all the time?
Yeah, we were grommets. Me, him, Jack O'Grady. Every Thursday we'd skate. There's a guy, Hagen, used to get us all together on Thursday, and we'd skate together, and it was rad.
So sick. Do you get many of those gigs, like construction gigs for events? Do you get many of that? Those opportunities?
Get look-ins. They happen. Sometimes you get a lot of people ringing up and asking. But I think a lot of people think they can get a ramp in and out quickly, but it's quite a big logistical event. So the price does sort of, unfortunately, put people off it. But we're all trying to bring that down. Like, everyone's trying to be more competitive to get skateboarding out there.
Yeah.
But like a vert ramp, everyone's like, oh, we can set up a vert ramp. Do you know the logistical nightmare of getting a vert ramp in? I set two up. I did the Gold Coast 500, built a ramp there.
From scratch, or was it already modular?
It's a sister ramp to Monster, that one. So it's modular.
can I ask how many pieces is a modular then?
Well,
What,
it
8?
depends. No, so in a 10x10, so there'll be 100 panel
Yeah.
roughly, and then
So what are we talking? 10 big pieces.
yeah. Well, the better way to look, no, because they come about a 1.2 like 2.8 section. They're a panel and a half usually.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. Shane's probably shaking his head at me right now, but yeah, you build them on their side. So you build a whole vert ramp on its side in a 1.2 section.
Yeah.
And then you stand it up and say you have 10 panels wide, and then that other side, that's immediately 20, and obviously the flats. But that ramp fits into a 40-foot container, and it's a sizable operation to get a vert ramp erected from nothing.
Yeah.
But hopefully they get that in for Jackalope.
I mean, that's a rad way to make some money, though.
Yeah.
Imagine that was your job all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's I've built a few of them. Luxford builds them too. He's got I like to call it like a babushka doll. All his ramps are 50 mil different size to each other, and they all stack inside each other. Sick. Which is it's like a babushka doll when they come out, and all the different theories on the ways people build them is really interesting.
Did Luxford engineer that idea?
Yeah, that's a Luxford idea.
That's really engineering.
Yeah.
I love that. So, like, I want to talk about how you just quickly tell us the story about how you built the Boost mobile obstacle for SLS.
Yeah, well, I built the whole all the steel obstacles for the SLS course. The rails, the rails, the harbours, the Boost obstacle, which was an interesting thing to build. But I prefabricated that before California come to Australia to build the park.
Because I was going to ask, who else does the construction of those things?
So that's California Skate Parks who does the Olympic courses.
So they bring them over?
Well, they bring their whole crew over.
Damn.
Build in plot, and then they buy all their material here, obviously, and then they prefabricate the most of it. It goes into in a day, and then they skim it with like 40 mil of fibercrete. It's got no steel. It's got like fibers in it to hold the strength. And those street league courses, they look like concrete courses. They are in theory, but they're only just skimmed with like a 40 mil layer of, and they come out really nice.
Do they actually they trowel that as well?
Yeah, they finish it.
That's a lot of work.
They're really good at it. They finish they burn it like a proper skate park.
From start to finish, how long does it take them to set up a street league course?
3. Yeah, 3. No, well, they're probably there for 2 and a bit weeks. They were for street league.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, but a lot of it's prefabrication, off-site.
Yeah.
They get a spot off-site, prefabricate, bring all the pieces in, and then, get it all in place, and then the concrete trucks come and they skim it in that thin layer of concrete, which is
they spray it on. Is that what they do?
Excuse
my ignorance. I'm not a concrete guy.
Typically like a park, like a big bowl or something, and you don't have proper concrete with steel, it'll get sprayed in.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, from memory, because all those street league courses are so banky, pretty sure from memory they just barrowed it in with like little tracked barrows.
So, and then just laying it on top of the ply.
Yeah, straight on top of the ply. It wouldn't last. Shit. It wouldn't last very long. But
so
it lasts.
There's no formwork and all that stuff.
Well, the formwork is
the setup.
Just ply, and it can be rough. You don't have to make, because you can put your curvature in your concrete. So your forms can be pretty rough. They don't have to be perfect. But yeah, that's more on their end. I just did the steel fab, but it was really cool to watch.
Hell yeah. So are you your trade is what exactly?
I did 2 trades. So I'm a fitter and machinist tool maker and a plumber. I did my plumbing apprenticeship and all that. And then at the same time, did a lot of TAFE and ended up doing all my fitting and machining work.
/ skateboarder / race car driver.
Yeah, I get around. I've done some bits and pieces.
How old are you?
27. Yeah.
Dude, you're kind of wise. Do you think that's because you hang out with people like Shane Serena and Adam Luxford all the time?
Yeah. Well, definitely older people. And even so the equivalent of those people, I've been lucky enough to have people like that helping me through a lot of race car stuff too. The engineering side of things interests me the most
I can tell.
out of everything.
Were you like that as a kid at school? Like you like to construct stuff?
Yeah. I love building stuff. I build my own bicycles. I love building stuff myself.
Base plates for trucks?
Yeah, we seen this morning setting up the base plates for the Aces. Try and get that wheelbase out there.
Why'd you change the base plate? So it's got an ace hanger.
Ace hanger with my own base plate, and hopefully it won't get in too much trouble off AHA, but I don't really like a stock Ace
Why?
because they're so far on one side of geometry that they turn really hard, and I typically don't land on my board very straight. So if it turns hard, it throws me off. I like something really laid back. So on the other side of the geometry spectrum, I suppose like if an Indie's in the middle, an Ace turns the hardest, maybe a Thunder would be something that's really mellow in the turn. And I like a Thunder.
Okay.
I like an Ace. I think the Ace is probably the highest quality product. I think they're the best. When you look at the finish, you look at the truck, I actually do think they're the best made truck. But I feel like they know they're on that further side of the spectrum where they're super snappy on the turn. And as soon as you start going fast, that turn's multiplied. If you're going double the speed, for the same amount of lean angle, it's going to fucking run away from you twice as fast.
But couldn't you counteract that with harder bushings?
No, you can't change geometry with bushings. You can change...
Well, that'd stiffen it up.
It stiffens it up, but for the same amount of lean angle, it's always going to turn the same amount.
So you made slightly longer base plates.
A little bit flatter in the geometry, so I flattened the geometry out and made longer base plates, and they're actually drilled with 8 holes so that I can go to an Ace chair. The only thing with an Ace truck, it brings the wheelbase of the board down. And I'm already trying to get like a 15-inch wheelbase board, which is long, and they're hard to find. Like I'm not in a position to start trying to lose wheelbase in the trucks. I think, and I know that Ace can do it, I think they should offer 2 base plate designs.
I think they should now build the Lachie Abbott Pro model based on that concept.
Yeah, I'll take a commission.
If you're out there.
But
you heard it here first. Ace trucks.
Yeah, well, I think they're a beautifully made item. When you look at them, they're a really nice item, and they're
what do you mean? Like just the aesthetic?
Yeah,
I mean, the hanger's pretty rad. The hanger's sexy. It's a sexy hanger.
The quality of the build, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but independent trucks, build quality's gone down.
Oh, I think a lot of people have noticed. Well, I mean, I couldn't believe it the first time I seen one of them crack. And they would never, ever crack. You'd never crack an Indie, but now they crack sometimes.
And the top washer, so they went to a different stamped top washer, which eats away at the aluminium and cuts the bushing. Like it's a very obvious flaw and issue. And if you buy a set of aftermarket bushings for an Indie, they come with a nicer washer that doesn't cut the bushing up, but a stock one does. And I was like, maybe they got one bad run. They'll fix it. They haven't fixed it. So there you go. You can get called out too.
I love this, dude. Keep going.
But I think, that's such a simple thing to fix and such an obvious issue. You go and look at anyone running Indie trucks at the moment. Inside their hanger, they're going to have cuts on the aluminium and they're going to have a chewed up top bushing if they've got the stock washers and bushings in there. It's an obvious design flaw. Everyone makes mistakes. Should have been fixed a long time ago. It's been going on for 3 years. Can't be doing that. Don't get that. That's what I mean with build quality. I think the Ace is a quality item. It's just the wrong geometry for me.
Yeah. It's like anything, though. Nothing changes until it affects them financially or sales go down.
That shouldn't be the way to look at things.
I know, but it's like it's everything in the world. Like nothing will change until it actually hits them where it hurts, and that's often in the back pocket.
Yeah.
So they got away with it for a long time, you reckon?
Yeah. Oh, I think, they're still trying to. I think this is where skateboarding and maybe skaters don't really care. You look, a lot of the setups are pretty ratty, but it's sort of like more about race cars and mountain bikes and things. Is people are so invested in their equipment, they love to build faster things. And I like that. Like, obviously I like that. But I think in skateboarding, there's a lot of areas a skateboard could get a lot better. I'd like to be in that sort of side of it.
What, design and...
Yeah, well, the pivot cup's a poor design to start with.
Why?
It doesn't... Like it's
What more could they do to them though?
spherical bearing in the bottom. It's just way
As opposed to a piece of rubber.
a piece of rubber and just a pin that sits in it and flops around. I don't really see how that's a good design solution. That's from like the 60s, and it's only based on. There's a way better design solution in there, and no one sort of.
But what if it comes down to cost? Like it's not really practical because then the retail price goes to something ridiculous that people can't afford.
You'd probably add $20 on the retail price. People I'd be happy to disagree, but it wouldn't fly in race cars. That design wouldn't fly. People would look at that like that's not on. And yeah, it's the same.
But I wonder if it's actually because you know how there is rubber in that cup. Do you think that's actually helping with the absorption?
Yeah, potentially.
Is that being considered?
I don't know if I'm considering that well enough. It could be.
Or maybe you need to go to the drawing board and.
I have. I've built one with a spherical bearing in it, but I only built one truck because I was lazy.
Interesting.
Chrome ollie truck, like an old GNS, the 4130 GNS trucks. I built a chrome ollie hanger,
right,
with a bearing, but I only built one because it was a pain.
And how'd it go?
Yeah, it's all right. It's so loud too.
I was going to say,
when
did
you
it grind?
Yeah, it's sick because it's hollow. When you grind, it made the coolest sound. Those old Thieve trucks. Remember the TIH Thieves? They sounded cool too.
Right, I can't remember.
Trevor Ward had a lot to do with that, I think. Actually, they made these, and it was a golf club manufacturer that was pressing them, and they were doing a forged titanium truck. A lot of the boys will remember them. I think they might still make them. I don't know. But they were really cool. They were hollow. They had no axle through the whole thing. They were hollow, and they used to grind. They were so hard because they were titanium. They'd grind like crazy. They'd rip up coping, but they'd make a wild sound. I liked those. Really light though, too light.
That's pretty entertaining. When it's like when you hear that really loud grind sound.
Oh, that's the best. It's the best.
How important is entertainment to skateboarding?
It's a show. It's all of what it is. What are you skating for? You're skating to entertain people or entertain yourself.
Not for like accolades.
I don't follow.
Well, accolades as in like, winning prizes or
it's
titles, winning a title. Like,
yeah, I suppose if that's what motivates you.
What about getting street cred off the homies?
That is street cred. Like entertaining people is street cred. If you entertain them, they're going to be frothing.
So when you're on the session, you're literally considering that.
100% the whole time.
Yeah,
it's like, what do people want to see? They're there. Everyone comes together. Most of the time you're skating 4 people. You could call me a show pony, but I'm just showing people the best to my ability of what they want to see.
Yeah.
Make them stoked. You got to put on a show. If you think any deeper than that, and a lot of people get hung up in that. A lot of people are trying to do maybe something that's technically hard for them, and they think that's what they need to do. No, you need to do especially when you're skating in front of people, you need to show them what they want to see, not what you want to do.
But how do you know what they want to see? So, okay, you're at a bowl comp.
Yeah.
What do you think the main elements are that a crowd wants to see?
Well, they want to see you on the ragged edge because it doesn't matter how good you are.
I love it. Keep going.
No one wants to see. Like, to be honest, no one gives a shit how good you are. Like, no one cares. They want to see you try it the best of your ability. You see someone drop in on something and it's like
the ragged edge,
way beyond their ability, and they make it. You're frothing because you want to see.
It's true.
Yeah, you want to see people just on that cusp.
I think you want to be inspired.
Yeah,
and it's inspiring when you see people overcoming their own personal boundaries.
Yeah, definitely a personal boundary. It's like I've seen plenty of people just like. You can see the best dude in the world. You can see like the best dude in the world just riding at 95% is better than what I can do, but it's not that interesting. I've seen some boys do it, turn up to comps and sort of like conservatively skate really well. I don't like watching that. I like watch someone like just holding on, and that's all they had to give.
Yeah. I think it's actually what you're saying is really reflected in the nature of skate videos. So obviously people put out video parts, but have you noticed that real movement in like the desire for people to watch rough cut edits and people going through the process of landing a trick, and you're seeing all the bails and all the slams. You know, there's so much of that out there. I mean,
I love that.
you like watching that? Same,
Yeah.
like the process, you know, whether it's a B-side or, you know, I know Thrasher always have a rough cut of every video that comes out. And, yeah, I think it's that desire. People want to see what the person went through to achieve it. And so, like, when Thrasher produces those My War videos, you've seen those.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're the best.
Yeah, because someone's trying. It doesn't really, and it's that crazy. You can't even tell how hard it is. I watch so much skateboarding now. I couldn't tell you whether it was really hard or easy for the person. Well, for the person, you want to see something that's hard for the person. It's getting that ridiculous. It's hard to really put into context some of the stuff these guys are doing. But
Yeah.
I like the My Wars. I like the My Wars a lot.
But again, it just really ties in with what you're saying. People want to be inspired and see people overcome personal boundaries and challenges. So, I mean, is like going back to like when you're skating in front of a crowd, do you think the elements of speed and height?
Yeah.
Because you're feeding off the crowd. I've seen you
Yeah.
at Belco and other stuff. So your senses are picking up on the response from the crowd. So you're noticing when you do a massive grind, that's when you hear the crowd move.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what you work off. You're putting on a show. The people are all there to see it. Essentially, if you wanted to look at it as a job, it's what you're getting paid to do, is get the people hyped up. So if you're not trying to figure out what they want to see and doing that, you're doing everyone a disservice, aren't you?
Hell yeah, bro.
They want to see what your thing is.
How many years at Belco have you won the high air comp?
One.
I was there. Is that when you wore the Kubra hat, the full brimmed hat?
I don't know. Yeah, no. I tied with Joshy that year, and then
Oh, he rips, that guy.
yeah, Joshy rips. Joshy fucking rips.
So you're tied with him?
Yeah. So I tied with him that year. I think the first year, it was the first Belco I went to.
Yep.
I won the high air. But yeah, that was only the second time I skated Belco. I turned up halfway through the comp. I was working that day. That ball is gnarly. It spat me on my ass real good. There's a good video of me getting hung up on my legs earlier in the day. Well, I turned up. The comp was on. I wasn't going to skate. The boys weren't going that hard. And I was like, fuck it, I'll hop in and have a dig and see how it turns out. And yeah, I ended up, because that bowl was black and I hadn't skated it much, ended up coming into the wall on one of the attempts, pumping before the wall got to me. So I just pushed the board and I just ended up getting thrown backwards. It was one of the gnarly ones, got hung up on my legs on the coping. I couldn't walk the next day.
Backwards or forwards?
Backwards. It was so
And,
scary.
and your legs hit and then you fell back.
It was like 9 foot and just coming backwards, and I couldn't turn my body around. I was just wailing. So I just had to wait and see where I copped it. I copped it in the back, coping in the back of the knees.
No pads, no helmet.
Nah. So,
When did that start for you, the no pads thing?
I started watching too much Grant Taylor. I think I was like, I don't know, 14. And I was like, dude, this is rad. That's what I like to watch. Grant and Raven really are my favourites.
Yeah.
But
Raven Terche.
yeah, Nathan Taylor, another guy I used to build DIY with, a bit older than me. P-Rat, his name is. He's
P-Rad.
P-Rat.
P-Rat.
Well, yeah.
Where's he from?
He lives in the inner west now, but we built a DIY at Rothermere together, and he was like, dude, you got to start getting onto this. Like, started showing me some Hesh stuff, and I was like, oh, this is what it's about. I love that. Because I was always padded up to the tee. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll still pad up. I got a set.
In terms of entertainment value,
yeah, it's more fun. Like, skating paddless is way more fun just because you're going to get hurt.
that's what the crowd wants. Crowds are bloodthirsty as well.
Yeah, they are bloodthirsty. Everyone likes seeing a fucking slam.
You know, when I go to these jam events, it's very obvious. There's the up-and-coming rippers, and they are ripping.
Yeah.
And they're padded up, helmets, knee pads, elbow pads, maybe hip pads. But then there's this other crew, which you're part of, that have no pads, and it's generally the older guys Slightly older. So what kind of things would you like to say to that younger generation coming through? Are you giving them advice on the platform about how to entertain?
Oh, put on a show. Just know you're there
Do you
to
say
put on a
these things
show.
to them, though?
Oh yeah, Freddie Hazelton's probably one of those young ones that puts on a proper show. And he pads up. He's wearing pads. There's nothing wrong with wearing pads. I wore pads my whole life. Still wear pads. If you want to get better at skateboarding and learn tricks, you're kidding yourself if you're not wearing pads. Full stop. Like if you really, really want to go and learn something, pad up.
Does that mean you've stopped learning?
No, I pad up.
So you pad up when you want to learn a new trick?
If I want to learn a trick, sure, I'm putting pads on.
Okay.
Like 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, and if you're not doing it because you think you're too cool, you're kidding yourself. Like there's just skating paddless is a shitload of fun. There's that other aspect. It's hard to explain to people. But yeah, no, definitely pad up. These young blokes, Freddie I got to have a conversation with about putting on a show, and he puts on a proper show every demo. Skates to the crowd. People enjoy it. I was up there. There's the best event of the year. One you really should come to is Timmy Hazelden's vert ramp. He's got Sir Freddie and Sammy have a backyard vert ramp. And last year we had a big jam there. And all the town, it's in Airlie Beach. Pretty much the whole town come to this event. It was just, they had a band there, food trucks, so much fun. And yeah, we just put a show on.
Sick.
Me, poor Joshy got hurt halfway through, but me, Freddie, George, Marley got hurt 2 days before, so we're on a limited roster for skaters. But yeah, it was those boys. They do a good job of putting a show, and I think and that's what it is. It's entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. Like anything, like even NRL and sports, they're all just forms of entertainment. If it wasn't entertaining, no one would watch it. There'd be no money in it. It is just entertainment.
Dude, 100%. I think skaters forget that.
It's self-entertainment.
Is it a sport?
Yeah. It's a sport.
You're okay with calling skating a sport?
Yeah, 100%. It's a sport. Like people get all funny. It's like, yeah, it can mean something more to you. It doesn't take away from it being a sport. It can still mean something more to you and then still be a sport. It can be a lifestyle. It can be art. It can be whatever. It can be all those things and sport. Dude, it's hard. I'm out of breath when I skate. You try and tell me it's not a sport. You're kidding yourself. Like, it's hard to do.
Oh, dude, I think skaters are some of the most elite athletes in the world.
And that holding up under some of that compression.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's gnarly. I'm out of breath every time out of the bowl. I'm full out of breath.
Remember when you did what do they call it? The mega grind or whatever it was at
the mammoth,
Bondi?
they call that.
The mammoth, because I think Luxford had done it backside 50-50 from shallow to deep from the shallow corner.
Jimmy Beck's done it.
Backside 50-50?
Yeah, no, Jimmy's regular, I think. Yeah, Jimmy's done it. Maybe even a 5-0, Jimmy did. But it's been done before plenty of times.
Backside, but frontside?
Don't think it's been done frontside.
Yeah, so at the Bowl Bash on that magical day where there was 900s going on, you almost did. Well, you did do.
I run out of legs at the bottom,
and that's what I mean. Like, so if you look at some of the edits going around, people cut it where you fall off because like you literally made it frontside 50-50, which again was so exciting and engaging. Like when you were going for that, everyone just stopped. But I noticed, you made it to the deep end corner and then rolled in, and what happened to your legs?
Well, it's kind of, that corner's really tight, so I had to lay in and take that pump of that corner. So then I didn't quite have time to reset up to drop in.
Yeah.
My legs weren't in the right spot, and I splayed out at the bottom because I run out of legs. If maybe I'd put a bit more effort into training and being a bit fitter, I would have held on. But it is hard. It's really like physically demanding, especially as you get taller and older. It's physically demanding to stay standing up. And, I didn't land it. I rolled out on the bottom and my legs gave way and that was it.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like you made it and then all of a sudden you just...
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was that corner. You got to remember how tight that wall is. You're coming in at that corner at that speed. It's just like pumping a quarter pipe. So you go pump, pump, because you had to get out the bottom. And the timing was off and I ran out of legs.
Are you claiming it though?
No way.
Ooh.
You got to make the next wall.
Dude, I'll see you at Bowl Bash next year.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah.
It's on. It's already. I've been talking to Ty Coling. It's in the works. There's been interactions with council and everything.
Yeah, I think Bondi, I'm glad that they put something on. I've heard Bondi Council can be somewhat difficult to deal with.
Again, I'm going to advocate for Ty Colling here.
Yeah.
He's a local, lived there his whole life, organised heaps of comps. They kind of like, they listen to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a gem Ty. He's put on, I went to all the Bondi Skate Riders events when I was a kid. That was like the most fun. Get the train out and whole day. It was so good to see that event back on again.
Yeah, there's a different vibe down at Bondi. You just can't deny it. You can have a
it's
bowl
awesome.
anywhere else, but there is something special down there.
Yeah, it's a rad bowl. It's good environment. It's the least Bondi thing about Bondi, all the other stuff. I don't know about all the people around there, but the skate scene's rad. Like Bondi's fun for that.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. No, it is fun. And then, yeah, good place to hang out, party, eat, whatever. So, I want to go into a little bit like, we briefly touched on it, but you didn't really go into depth. But I want to know quickly, like, what area of Sydney did you grow up?
Oatlands. So it's in between Parramatta and Tilapia.
Right. At Parramatta and Tilapia. And so who, like your early influences skate-wise were?
A guy named John Ty.
Ty.
Do you know John Ty?
No. I don't know him
Really
personally.
good skateboarder from Tilapia. Danny Van,
Yeah.
obviously. But I got out and about. I went to go skate Monster a fair bit when I was younger. So obviously Adam Luxford, Jimmy Beck. And then I won a couple of comps and I was flying to Melbourne a bit on my own when I was younger. I was like 12 and I used to save up coin and just like go get tickets to Melbourne with like Paran comps would be on. So then like I'd go to Melbourne and Trevor Ward and Renton, they'll love me putting them together, but Trevor Ward and Renton used to look after me a bunch. So I'd go skate Trevor's at Torquay and Renton would take me to go skate the Shed and like drive me around and I'd just turn up off the plane and catch a train in. So I had those two down in Melbourne and there's an endless list of people that help.
Yeah. Interesting, man. And you started skating around 10.
Yeah.
We got that out of the way.
Yeah. So it took me, that Monster ramp was always like the one, because it was near home and I seen that one day. I was like, damn, I'd love to be able to skate and drop in on that. And then, so my main goal when I was learning to skate was I just wanted to learn how to drop in on that ramp.
So big.
Yeah, super, super forgiving because it has so much transition. When you fall off on that ramp, it's just so much to catch you.
Yeah, gotcha.
I've never seen someone get properly hurt on that.
Interesting.
Seen people get hurt on like 4-footers and the ambulance always coming for the 6-foot ramp or for the smaller stuff. That big ramp at Monster, such a good thing to learn on, especially not paddlers. Obviously, it's hard to skate paddlers, but like you could try whatever you want. You had so much time. You caught so much transition in running, in sliding out of that ramp. It was one of the best things to learn on. Luke Russell cut his teeth there, and I guess that shows too.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. That's crazy. I remember when it was first built. Yeah, it's I'm in a good location and pretty central. And I remember I was at a big day out.
Yeah, I
And
skated that.
they were doing a demo there, and I was like, that's pretty crazy. And I remember seeing Luxford skating in it and doing fast plants and all sorts of stuff.
That's 2011.
It might have been 2011. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was always so wasted at those things.
Yeah. No, that was 2011. I skated that. And then 2013, big day out, Shane brought the ramp into the stadium. He brought his own ramp.
Which one was that?
The one he had in Kurnell, I think it's up in Queensland.
No, but which big day out was it?
2013.
Yeah, okay.
He did the whole season, so he took the ramp for like Brisbane or Goldie, wherever it was, Sydney,
Amazing.
Melbourne, Adelaide, did the whole trip.
Pretty rock star.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure he wouldn't say that. I'm sure he'd say it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, but that's a bang up ramp. That one Shano's got. We set that up actually for Nitro Circus in Brisbane a few years back.
Sick.
It's a really, really, really fast ramp. It's got the only thing with the Monster ramp's that bit slower. It's 2 layers of skate light. Shane's ramp had a layer of ply under the skate light, which made it a bit more firm, and it's a little bit smaller. It's fast.
Okay. That's good.
It's essentially Belco.
Okay.
Essentially Belco. I've only got to skate Belco once. that new ramp.
That's the last Belco.
Yeah, because we finished building it because of the council and the government. They wouldn't let us skate it.
Well, I want to talk about that because you were having a chat on the phone the other night, and you were talking about like on that build. Like, can we just talk about the ridiculousness of the like OH&S conditions that you had to go through?
Yeah, they had. Well, it was just kind of comical because we were like barely halfway up the ramp, and they had us all working in harnesses. And like as soon as the thing's done, you're going to have kids come and skate it and walking all over it. And
wait up, you're up on the platform.
Yeah,
and you had to wear.
It's still finished, and we're still clipping on, but it's nothing to do with anyone. It's just regulation, I suppose. But it was comical that like all the railings are up, the whole ramp's done, but to be like 3 foot up on the ramp, we're all having to link in and work around ropes while we're trying to build it.
And if you don't,
you're in
trouble.
Yeah, they had cameras on site and
what?
Yeah, pretty wild. But they're a great crew we were working with down there. Really good crew.
Yeah, just like you, Shane.
Me, Shane,
Shane's
Azar, Damo, Cam, Paige, Cam Markin's girlfriend. Best, yeah, she was probably the top worker out of the
skater?
crew. Yeah, Paige.
Yeah, I've seen footage of her pop up every now and then,
Dude,
ripping.
She's rad. She's so cool.
Yeah, it's funny because my daughter's into roller skating now.
Yeah.
and I showed my daughter some of her footage.
Yeah.
And my daughter's like, I want to do what she does.
She's creative, just like Cam. They're both super creative.
Okay.
And Paige was rad to work with too.
Sick, man. Good times, eh?
Yeah, fun. I like it. If anyone ever calls me to work on any skate project, I kind of rearrange my whole life to get on it.
Do you have that? Do you have that flexibility with your current work situation?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a maintenance plumber mainly now. Do commercial work. And yeah, it's like I never know what I'm doing in 2 weeks' time, so I can just stay busy.
So I mean, you're a sponsored skater, all right?
By AHA.
What do you mean by AHA? Like you're sort of playing it down. But I guess the question I'm leading to is like, you know, you're in this job, but it's like you don't have a desire to maybe explore a little bit further that skateboarding could become a source of revenue and income to sustain you that lifestyle?
Not at my level, no.
Don't think you're good enough?
Oh, definitely not. It's and you'll see it. Like I've got a set list of things I can do. George makes fun of me all the time. He's like back 50, front 50, backside air, frontside air, bail of 5. George will just tell me all the time. He's like, you got about 5 tricks, mate. And he's right. He's not wrong.
You're just like a demo machine.
Yeah, I like it. It's fine.
Demo
like,
machine.
There's no insult in that. Like I've just got my sort of little bag, but that ain't a bag of tricks that's going to get you.
Well, how long are you going to milk? How long are you going to milk that for? How long are you going to milk that bag for?
Oh, forever. I like it. That's what I like doing. I just want to go fast, man. I don't care. I don't like tricks and things. I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting there and trying to fucking nut out tricks all day.
Yeah.
Some people love it. It's funny, like Leonard Tejada is one of my favourite skaters, and he's so tech and skates ledges and he can do big stuff too, obviously. But I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting there and trying to fucking learn how to hard flip. Like, just not my thing. I want to go fast.
Fast and high.
Fast and high. That's what's fun for me. So that's what I'm going to do.
Hell yeah. And you know what? You're still young enough to explore a race car driving career.
Oh, no. I ain't
man.
got the money for that. It's
a rich man's sport.
Yeah, that's the fast race car is one you're willing to wreck.
Okay.
That's
and that's expensive.
It's expensive. That's with sprint cars. That was the thing. I like rally drive and I got rally cars, but I just we buy WRXs that are hail damaged. You can get them because they're statutory write-off. You get them for a couple grand. Strip them out. Got rally wheels for them. Put suspension in them, and we win. Like we beat like $100,000 cars in like $4,000 shitters.
Well, I was going to say, like, is there like amateur level comps where you can still earn some money out of it? Where you don't have
cars or skateboarding?
Cars.
No, only way to become a millionaire with race cars is you start as a billionaire. Doesn't matter what
and then go backwards.
Yeah, it's the only way to become a millionaire driving cars, mate.
No shit.
They're a money pit, but I like the rally stuff. We've been going well in the rally. I'll still do that. I'll take you out one day if you want. It's a lot of fun. The rally stuff's really good. The rally stuff's it's all legit. It's quite a cheap form comparatively, and yeah, as I said, we buy cars that we're willing to wreck. It's not going to ruin your day if you go home with a wrecked race car. It's not going to ruin your next month or two of your life.
Yeah.
And typically we'll beat people with $100,000 cars because they're not willing to put them in the tree.
Gotcha.
Like if you're willing to wreck, it makes it a fast car. But then that's the problem with motorsport. A lot of people, a lot of money, they might not necessarily have the talent. They might go a bit better than you.
You're such a hell man, dude. It's so funny. You're willing to go into a tree, dude, to win the race.
100%. You can't not be.
Really?
Yeah, I like so I race mountain bikes. I've done quite well in that. I won state titles on my own bike, and I've raced a lot of downhill, and that stuff's fine because it's yet again, and you can break your bike, but you can fix your bike with a reasonable amount of money. It's still racing. Love racing, but I love racing. That's the thing. Even with skating, I just like going fast because I've always been brought up motorsports racing. Going fast is always the number one priority.
Yeah.
So I've never really looked at it in a different way.
Man, it's super intriguing. Like I said, you're a hell man and you like to go fast, and it's rad. But I just want to delve a little bit more into, your relationship with fear. So, you're telling me about this stuff. You like going fast in cars and skateboards and you like going high.
Yeah.
Has your relationship with fear changed over time?
Yeah, always. I'm getting more scared as I get older.
You are?
Yeah, definitely. It's just, you start, it always comes with age. And I think everyone told me to start coming about 25. And it has, definitely more tentative now than I used to be.
Yeah.
And, yeah, unfortunately, I had a few mates pass away in the last couple of years doing sports.
Yeah.
So I've seen that a bit. Over time. So it's always on the table. I don't really want it to affect too much. I don't want that to be like, oh shit, you could die. Stop doing everything. But definitely, probably have a more tentative approach now than I did for a while because I really didn't care for a while. It was okay. It was just part and parcel. But it's definitely, I don't know. But in saying that, you're taking the inherent risk when you drop in. So I tell a lot of kids, it's if you don't want to get hurt, don't turn up. You've taken the inherent risk as soon as you've decided to do something. And what kills you is the hesitation. I think once you're if you're in there, you're in the moment, you're doing it. It's a moment of self-doubt that typically catches most people out. If you're there, you got to be cocky bastard to skate. You see street skaters and they really get something. When they catch it, you just you can tell they feel like a king. They're just telling themselves yeah, I got this. They catch a trick, they go and fucking put it down. And that shit's scary, really scary. And you watch someone hesitate for a moment, and that's when you watch them get tangled up. Yeah. So
it's all confidence, hey?
Yeah. You got to be pretty confident. You got to be pretty cocky.
Well, do you find a correlation between, let's say, things outside of skateboarding in your life aren't going well? Does that translate into your confidence on a skateboard?
Say you're having a rough trot and you just
yeah, you might have broken up with a girlfriend or...
Yeah, so it's never really a good motivation point. I've had that. I think everyone's had that. Do you think you've had that?
Definitely. I guess I'm alluding to it. I find that when I'm not running well in the real world and my confidence is low, when I get on a skateboard, it's low there too. But what I've found, and I wanted to lead into this, was that let's say I'm skating well and I've landed some stuff I wanted to land, my confidence is up. Next thing you know, man, I'm outside of skateboarding. I go to work and I've got my chest puffed out and, I'm talking to people at the bar I've never spoke to before. It actually raises my confidence and my self-esteem in the real world. I don't know. Does that sound weird?
Definitely. That doesn't sound weird.
Do you find that?
100%. 100%. You have if you're not skating good or say even anything go out, I'll go for a ride, I'm just slow. I'm sort of drag me down a bit. But if I'm having a rip, I'm just I'm the man today.
I feel like you're the king of Belko sometimes. You ever get that vibe? You must love that event.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
You must get so much love down there, bro.
No, yeah, I could probably, like, I always take it too much as a social thing because it's always been I go down there to see everyone and have a beer. But, yeah, no, it's good fun. It's good fun. But, no, I wouldn't say, yeah, definitely not. You know the king of Belco is Konzi.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, it's a fun event. It's a little bit too much for me. It fucking freaks me out. It gives me, like, social anxiety, that event.
Okay.
So I think I end up like overcompensating by, you know, maybe drinking a bit much and partying with the boys just because there's too many people. It freaks me out. And that's a me problem. It's not an event problem. That's a me problem.
Almost like overstimulated.
It's overstimulated. That's probably one that's just a little bit too large for me. I go down to, like, I've got a run of events now that I love to do. I do Hobart every year. Have you?
I haven't been to that one. It looks sick.
Dude, that is such a good event. It's it's such a funny event because no one can skate that thing. It's such a hard bowl to skate, and just watching people adapt. And you get people on roller skates. A dude come down on a unicycle the other year, and they just make such fun out of it. And that's an event I really like. Some of the smaller stuff, but yeah, Belco this year freaked me out. I guess working it too made it hard because I had to pull the ramp down, deal with the obstacles, all that. It was more of a work event.
So you're in work mode.
Yeah, which I like.
And you told me that Boost Mobile, you had to rebuild it the night before or something.
Yeah, I had
that story.
Yeah, I got paid a bit late for that. I didn't think it was going ahead until like 3 days before, so that was a bit of a.
So you stayed up all night building it.
Yeah, 2 days in a row. We were doing like 14-hour days getting the thing done because last time I got it put through the laser cutter, so I just sent the DWG files, like all the CAD files. Got all the material laser cut and delivered to site. So I put it together like Lego when I did the Street League one.
Yeah.
But this year, it all come together real last minute, and the laser cutter's got like a 2-week turnaround, so that was immediately off the table. So I had to learn how to I got the steel plates, went and bought them and gridded out a big drawing and had to freehand the whole logo. You know, well, didn't freehand it. I used compasses and drew all the radiuses, but yeah, the old visual arts come out in that one, and then plasma cut it and had to make it all sort of within a really narrow window. But,
interesting.
But yeah, I wasn't stoked about that, but I definitely wanted the feature to be there for people to skate because it would have been super upsetting if it was on me. That was a rad feature too.
Yeah. Dude, you're such an engineer. You really are. You're just an engineer by nature.
I like it. Dad's a really good tradesman.
You think that's where you got it from?
Yeah, my granddad too. Granddad's weapon tradesman. Really, really good. Better than me. But I really... Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just
kicking the table.
Yeah, a bit twitchy.
It's okay. You're excited.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's more appreciated in other things. Like you win in cars a lot of the time. You're winning the race. You're winning the race on the week prior in the workshop. Like the races are won in the workshop, not at the track. In the preparation. And in like we get a bit tricky with stuff. Like even though the budget's kind of lower on our end, we get a bit tricky with our equipment. We can build some fast cars.
Gotcha.
And I think that's always been I put more value on build. I'd rather be building stuff. Nice. Than particularly like me in the arena. I like skating, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather be building stuff than skating.
And you can do that for a long time too.
Yeah.
But do you ever think like your body's only going to work like this for a certain amount of time, so maybe you should just utilise it as much as possible?
It's already too hard because the way I want to skate, if I wanted to go and skate every week, I'm just sore all the time.
Right.
I'm just hurt constantly. Because I don't want to go to the skate park and like fucking practice shit. Like it's not fun.
Yeah, gotcha.
But if I go skate, I get excited. I want to have fun, and then I'm hurt.
And just see what transpires, like see what you're feeling as you're skating, like see what comes up.
Yeah, and I always just want to go big, and I always just get pumped.
So when you do go to an event or a skate park, like are you working off feel or are you going there with a plan?
Never fucking plan.
Never plan. Just like this feels good. Okay.
Yeah, whatever seems right at the time. But I'm hurt for a long time after the events because it does take its toll.
Hell yeah.
And I'll be hurt for a week pretty consistently. And then if I'm skating all the time, I'm doing that. But when you skate, you're coming off like 20 times a session, 30 times a session, you're going to have a spill. Whereas like if I go ride bikes, I'll come off once out of every 10 times I go ride. Don't get me wrong, they're big spills, but they're just not as often. So then my body can cop, like it can cop one hit, it can cop one heavy one every couple of weeks rather than just every time you go and do your sport, you're getting pumped. Doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. I can tell that.
How many days a week do you ride bikes?
3.
3 days. Do you think that's built up the strength in your legs and that helps skating when you go to skating?
Sure.
Yeah.
It makes you go way bigger.
So that makes you, so when you do skate.
Yeah, if these young boys, they're like, don't get me wrong, like, they're growing up like Tyres and that. If they get on the push bikes, it'll push their legs and like their quads and stuff beyond what they could ever get the exercise skateboarding because it's that consistent push. They'll go faster and higher.
Gotcha.
Pushies are, especially it's even just get out on the roadie and just drop the gears so it's really hard to push and then just pump. It'll get your legs going.
Knees.
Yeah, and it makes skating feel like way more easy. When I'm riding heaps, my skating gets heaps better.
Going back to that mental game of skating and the confidence thing, like when you are going through a period of maybe self-doubt or you feel self-doubt coming in, like how do you manage it? Do you have any like techniques or ways of overcoming it?
Sorry?
Like when like in regards to the mental game of skateboarding, how do you manage like self-doubt when it arises?
Not well.
Not well. You haven't got anything in place to go, no, I don't want this. I'm gonna overcome this. Like you don't have any strategies?
Yeah, I don't think I've really got the right answer there because it does sort of that plays with me. But then I just won't go and do it. I end up in like sort of just removing myself and not. If I'm in a bad mood and I'm doubting myself, I ain't gonna go and socialise and turn up and do things. I ain't gonna go skate. So yeah, whatever I'm doing, it's definitely wrong.
It's not wrong. Like it's what you need at the time, like just to maybe isolate a little bit.
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not a good way to deal with it. But yeah, I definitely don't have the correct answer there. So,
there's no right or wrong answer. It's just like, how do you deal with it? No, but then what? You sort of like have some time to yourself and then come back.
Yeah. But if I'm in one of those spots, I tend to isolate, which is I don't think is a really good solution.
It's not. I don't reckon it is. I've learned that.
Yeah.
You're not like someone who meditate or stuff like that.
Nah, a lot of times been recommended. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely something I've got to work on because I do go through those periods where I'm not quite sure and then end up in a little bit of my own head. But
that's tricky, that one, hey?
yeah, it's funny. Something I'm actively trying to fucking work on.
Like burnout as well. I mean, you work full time, you do a lot of stuff. I mean, do you feel burnt out sometimes? Like
You'd be pretty hard pressed to say I work full time.
What do you mean? I thought you said you did.
I do. I'll knock out like a lot of hours, but I'm pretty lucky with what I do that it's especially commercial work. I've got a lot of pub work and a lot of the childcare centre work I've been doing lately. I've been doing like renovations in childcares. You've got to be there out of hours.
Yeah.
So I do have a considerable amount of free time in my life, which I'm pretty lucky for. I don't mind working. I like working, but yeah, I do have a pretty solid amount of free time between everything I do. I think full time's 40 hours a week, and I'll probably 20 to 30 is probably my standard. So
I think that's the balance, man. I think we all work too much.
Yeah.
But we have to because the cost of living is so ridiculously high.
It is getting harder. I'm finding myself consistently more like, oh shit, I need to go and make money.
Yeah. Well, because then you think that'll relieve that stress, but then really it's putting you under more pressure and less time for friends, family, passions.
Yeah.
So then that leads to more like feelings of sadness or depression, stuff like that.
Yeah. And personal time to work on my own projects is important, really important. I like building bikes. I want to get back into building bikes, frames. And
Some truck prototypes as well.
yeah, something like that.
For the Lachie Abbott Pro model on Ace. Congratulations.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just give it to myself. I'll start selling them aftermarket. But
So working on your own projects is important.
I think it's pretty important. I probably need to do a bit more of it, but I
Why?
can't because I like it.
Is that maybe that's your strategy right there? Maybe that's your mental health strategy.
Yeah, probably need to spend a bit more time up in the shop. My shop's in a beautiful spot. It's next to the bush. You should see, like, you got a workshop in the corner, bushland, mountain bike track, little moto track, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect, the location. And I got a 44-gallon drum to have a drum fire, and I could pig and shit down there. I love it. So, but most of the time, it's a workshop, but most of the time it's personal projects.
Yeah, right. It's like a man cave.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott Spring showed me his workshop.
I'd love to go.
Oh, my God, dude. It's a dream.
I'd love to go and see Scotty's place.
It's like so well set up and it's so in order. Scott's very big on systems and organisation. And it's just a dream, and it's all made from repurposed. Well, I don't know if you know, he's built 2 structures all from repurposed materials.
Yeah.
Recycled materials, like these eco houses.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just done so beautifully. It's like out of a magazine. I think it has been in magazines for its like design and just so accurate in everything he does.
It's definitely, actually, I'm heading over the mountains. I actually got to get Scotty's number off you. I'm heading over to the mountains next week, and I'd love to drop in and have a look.
Go, mate. Go for sure. What are you doing up there?
Going out riding it we've organised, we're going out riding at Hamptons, which is off the back, like Lithgow in the pine forests off the back of the mountains.
Yeah, cold.
It's cold, but yeah, it's good. This time of year, all the pine leaf falls and it makes like a mulch over the whole track. So when you ride, just you've got all this loose dirt under you, so everything it's like drifting. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, you got to go visit Scott. I'm sure he'd love to have you there.
Yeah, he said I asked him at the bowl jam. I said I'd like to come and have a look at your place. So yeah, come up, have a look. So I'm gonna if he's around, I have to try and line that up.
Yeah, and he's got his woodworking workshop, and it's
he's a clever bloke. I like one of my favourite parks of all time is Millthorpe, which is his. Yeah, and just the story behind the way that was built and everything. I think credit to Scotty.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just like, after having a chat with you, I just feel like, I could just see you just going more into the construction and design and creativity and having your own business in that realm.
Yeah, it's tricky. I definitely haven't done enough of an apprenticeship in that. Couldn't take it on my own at the moment. I need to do some more time, maybe with someone like Shane, before I could start to even look into doing something like that for myself. I think there's definitely a bit of time to be served there to figure out. It's not easy. No, it's definitely not easy.
Would you say Scott's a role model?
Yeah.
He's been a role model to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a role model? To the younger generation?
I don't put much thought into it, but there's a few ways you could look at that. Because I could say, I think there'd be merit in saying I'm not a very good one, but no, there's some merit in that. But in saying that, to some of the people that would supposedly be very good ones, no one's going to look at them, are they?
Good ones?
Like,
what do you mean?
Well, I don't know. You're talking about role models to kids?
Yeah, role models. Yeah, I reckon to kids, younger skaters.
Because you can also be a role model to people older than you, and
that's true.
People do take from all walks of life.
That's true.
And kids can be role models to you because you start looking at them like, hey, you're kind of rad. Like, again, but the grommets in some ways, definitely.
Okay.
But,
I mean, do you carry that responsibility when you're at skate events and stuff?
I don't think it matters as much because if you started to look at it that way, you'd start to act differently to who you really are. Kids are not stupid. Kids are so hyper aware of everything going on and they know when they're being lied to. So if I started to not be myself, I'm like, oh, what's this kid going to say?
Yeah.
you're probably doing them a disservice. They know that you're lying to them.
Dude, good analysis, Lachie. Seriously, you've answered all that really well, man. And you're right. I didn't consider that younger people can be like role models. Like I learn off young people every day in my job and off my own kids, at the skate park, in the surf.
They're hyper aware. Like there's a lot. I think a lot of issue kids get is getting treated like children and not little adults, like proper. Some of it, and you know which ones you can talk to properly and which ones are not quite there yet, maturity wise.
Yeah.
Some people are so mature by like 14, but they're constantly getting treated like children.
And then they get frustrated.
And it's frustrating for them. You need to be realistic. It definitely takes a balanced approach because some people are immature until they're like mid-20s.
Yeah, that's true. There's also a lot of adults out there who aren't letting kids just be kids.
Yeah,
and I think
have a bit of fun.
Whenever I'm interacting with young people, I always try to ask myself and remind myself, what was I like when I was 15?
Yeah.
And I used to hate authority and I used to hate being told what to do all the time. But then sometimes I catch myself doing that.
Yeah.
So I always try to remind myself, like, no, I wouldn't have liked that, you know. Bit of empathy, I think.
Yeah, and you're at 15. You're pretty aware.
Hell yeah.
You see more than a lot of people would give you credit for, and it's not to take anything away from them,
but the frontal lobe isn't fully developed yet, so decision making
can be a little bit rash, but everyone's got to go through that. That's how they weed them out. Bit of fucking
I think my frontal lobe only just developed recently. Still make bad decisions.
Yeah. I still catch myself out figuring out that it hasn't quite developed.
Dude, you're a legend, man. I'm telling you. Like, so what do you reckon? Like, you know, what do you reckon's next for you? You're in a good space in your life, it seems. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Property scene. Like, I've done a fair bit of farming. I've done some seasons farming, and I want to get definitely want to get some sort of something going where I'm making a living out of my own land. Would be the ticket. I've been looking up in the mountains. I'm actually looking at them now where I've been looking at land out of your window.
Yeah, nice.
But so up west of Raymond Terrace and stuff, ideally I'd like to get a little bit of something together, and aviation. Next step. Like
what do you mean? Become a pilot?
Planes. I've flown a bit, and I was just in America flying some old World War II planes with a mate I met over there, Ross. He's a legend. Really, really cool dude, and he's been teaching me a lot. Obviously, always flying with a pilot in the plane, but he took me out a lot, and I think aviation's probably the next real goal. I'd like to get into some of that.
Dude, you're such an action man. Of course.
I think planes are fucking rad. Like they give me a good feeling. Especially
because they're fast and high, bro.
Yeah, So some sort of aviation stuff. But we've been looking everything I've been looking at. Obviously, land's expensive, and I'm not quite there yet. But when I buy, definitely something I can put a grass strip on and have some planes.
Wow, like planes on your property.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it.
I was going to ask, like, what do you want to do with the land? Like, grow your own food?
Yeah, I'd like a diverse crop. I don't want to get into like dairy, maybe a little bit of beef. I've done heaps of dairy work, which has turned me off doing dairy work. But yeah, up there it wouldn't be hard to run a bit of beef, so a few cows, and then obviously have a pretty good garden, like a no-till sort of living off a piece of land you have would be amazing. And also if it could, you could look at it as turning a profit, or you could look at it as like feeding the people around you locally. Like if you could have a few cows and then, sell a few, and that can go back in, and that can help you sustain your piece of land. I don't think any farmers are really, profit's a kind of funny word to talk about in farming. But
survival.
Yeah, but I think I definitely that's getting some acres is the next getting some acres and then getting a plane. Kind of my
dude. Nice, man.
That's
just that concept you touched on there is like, everyone can share what they grow, whether it's meat or whether it's vegetables or whatever, or maybe share their trades.
Yeah, which is the way.
It's the way forward, but good luck trying to change that culture in
Yeah.
in this capitalist society that we live in, and desire for mass consumerism. I feel like it's honestly, I feel like I just want to put my head in the sand and just give up in that
Yeah.
respect, because people just will never get it.
especially in a
It sounds
city.
pretty negative, actually, as I say that.
Yeah, I think in a city, it was always smaller. Like through the modern world's actually quite recent. If you look at how long humans have been around, the modern world's not been around, like society, big cities, and the way we've kind of cities have gotten so big, and then you don't realise if you're taking up one little apartment in a city, but the amount of land and everything and resource that is used to feed you, keep your lights on, like the coal power plant, is that they're just there because they want to do it for fun and profit. It's to turn the lights on somewhere. So there's all these, you're taking up like only a small space in your apartment or whatever, but you're actually taking up a much larger amount of resource from the land. And I don't know if it's that sustainable the way forward. If cities are very sustainable, unfortunately. I kind of want to get out of that. I want to be more, at least not. And obviously, there's the other thing that I consume a lot of stuff that you need to have big hubs for. A lot of like metal and there's all sorts of things. You need to have these population hubs, but I definitely want to get out of one. That's
Yeah. Oh, look, that's beautiful, man. I'm with you. I feel that too. I think I've just become so lost in it.
I struggle in that.
You know?
I spend more time on my own when there's heaps of people around me
Interesting.
than when I'm out, like if I'm out at a mate's farm or something, I'm spending more time socialising when I'm out doing something elsewhere, and then I end up going back to Sydney, and the only reason you'd be in Sydney is to go and, because everything's going on there. There's all sorts of people, and I'll find myself talking to no one. So I get more in a hole in a city
So
rather
I don't do
than...
crowds well.
Yeah, I don't. Really don't.
You're
Even
pretty social, though. I've seen you.
Yeah,
But
bit of lubricant required, I think.
but generally, like internally, you feel yourself wanting to pull away.
Yeah,
You want open spaces, less.
Yeah,
less.
a festival freaked me the fuck out. Like I can't do it. Not a huge skate event's fine. It's all my mates. Like that's about the right size for a social event.
Yeah. But in terms of like living in apartment buildings stacked on top of each other in these concrete bricks and mortar structures, it's really not natural.
No, not
And then
entirely.
surrounded by power goods and electricity, and I don't think biologically we're designed.
I think-
and that stress does impact us, and we don't realise that it's having an impact on us.
Definitely doesn't do us as much good as like you go out, sit out the back, and you're looking at some trees and kookaburras and
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
that.
the big thing I notice personally, I'm a bad sleeper. I've always been a bad sleeper. But if I go out somewhere where there's lots of open spaces, not necessarily camping, I could just be staying at a friend's property or things like that, I just sleep like a baby.
yeah,
I don't know what it is.
yeah.
So I think it's this overstimulation, and then you throw coffee onto that. Then you throw screens and blue light, and then you throw work stress, and then you make yourself sit down for hours working or doing what you need to do. I just think all of these things are unnatural, and our bodies are speaking to us, and it's manifested in the population through the rise in severe mental illness. Depression, anxiety, ADHD. You hear a lot of people talking about adult ADHD now.
Yeah.
Dyslexia, autism spectrum, things like that. I don't know. I can't help to think these are all byproducts of not living right.
An environmentally driven. A lot of things are a product of environment, aren't they?
Wow.
And then, I was diagnosed ADHD when I was younger,
Okay.
but
At school,
yeah,
how old were you?
I think about 10. But I don't know. I've never given it much thought. It's not, I can run with what you brung, like.
Did a teacher flag it
I think so. I'm not sure.
because you were hard to manage?
I was definitely hard to manage.
Did your mum think you were hard to manage?
Mum's a teacher, so I don't think she had too much struggle. She's good at it. She knows.
Again, like I look at, like, is it because you didn't like being inside a classroom?
I was good at school. I liked school. And sometimes I think it was a bit much for people. But
Well, what prompted the diagnosis?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it was wrong. But yeah, I think I got flagged at some point. I'd have to, anyway, I just remember having to go to like a psychologist when I was a kid for a while and talk to them. They're like, oh yeah, that kid's got ADHD, give him Ritalin or Dexies. And I was like, nah, he's all right. Like just.
She didn't medicate you?
Nah.
Go, Mum.
Yeah.
What about when there was like something at school you were super interested in?
I loved like math and science.
Yeah.
Fucking frother on that.
What were you accused of being ADHD then?
No.
When you were
no.
doing those things that you enjoyed?
No. The thing is just religion I didn't like. It's one thing I was like fucking off. But
You just needed to burn the energy, right?
yeah, just a bit fast, bit of a frother. I don't know. You deal with it more than anyone else. You're a school teacher.
Well, yeah, I do. I do. One thing I have noticed is that over the years of doing it, that actual diagnoses are as high as they've ever been.
Yeah.
High. Like through the roof. I mean, I don't know the actual data. I don't have the data in front of me, but I've just seen it not just gradually grow, but just skyrocket.
And do you think that it's more common, or do you think it's just higher diagnosed?
Well, that's the conundrum, right? Is it just because now it's more identifiable, or it's just able to be diagnosed? There's a whole lot of layers to it. I mean, some might argue that it's a business model for psychologists.
Yeah.
Some might argue that if someone has a diagnosis that they're going to get extra support through their schooling, which is in the public system not necessarily true because there's just no resources there. And so it's pretty layered. And then I think it's very convenient for some people to have a diagnosis, maybe especially parents who are, parents are under a lot of stress, they're under financial strain, they're under work pressure, and, maybe managing a high energy child is also challenging and adding stress to their life and inconvenient. So they're just some philosophies. I'm not saying that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Is that a pretty diplomatic way to answer it?
I think that's quite diplomatic, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not saying that these things don't exist.
Yeah.
But I can't help to reflect on the bigger picture and get to the core of why I guess I don't want to call it an illness, but why they're not ill. I don't actually see them as illnesses. I think for some they're a gift.
Yeah.
They really are. Some of the greatest minds have had these diagnoses.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest game changers. So, but I can't help to think about like why maybe they're happening, and I just think it comes down to the bigger picture and the system and what we're forcing young people to, the conditions we're putting young people under, and just humans in general. So, anyway. Sorry, I went off on a rant there.
No, it's good. That's what I was trying to get it.
Anyway, but listen, man, it's been so epic getting to know you and hanging out and, picking your brain a little bit. Do you, is there anything specifically you feel like you want to talk about? You got any?
I definitely want to give a shout out to the North Queensland boys. This is one of the best skate scenes in Australia, in my opinion.
Okay.
Brent, Richie, Freddie, all the boys up there, and big Richie Hawkins. I want to at least mention all them guys because they got me, especially last year when I was probably not that keen. They flew me up there and they're just like, "Come on, we're going skating," and it was really reinvigorated me. So they definitely deserve some credit. All those boys up there. I've definitely missed a few, but they'll deal with it.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. What about your sponsors, Lachie?
Oh, definitely.
Which I find funny. You're just like, I don't consider myself sponsored, but
no, me and I had to have an argument about that about 3 times.
He wants to give you boards.
Yeah, he wanted to give me some boards, and I was like, nah. I was adamant about not having that, but definitely Dogtown does resonate with me, and it was too rad of a thing to turn down. The only thing that I was a bit nervous about was like, I don't want to take it away from some grommet that really deserves it.
Bro.
But
Bro.
they put Taji on, and AHA assured me that wasn't the case. So thank you, AHA and the boys at Dogtown for looking after me.
Nice one, man.
And yeah, that's no, he's good. I don't think there's anyone else. Like at this point in time, I do work a job, and at this point in time, the way I get my skate equipment. Not that I go through much of it, is I go to the skate shop and buy it, but I get my boards from them, which I am very appreciative of. But I definitely wouldn't want to take. I wouldn't want to go and I know that they've only got a list of people they can flow stuff to, and I wouldn't want to take that away from someone younger. It's actually having a dig. There's a lot of kids that are really, really trying, and credit to them.
But you're pretty young too, man. You're in your 20s still. Like, I don't think you've even hit your physical prime, honestly.
Oh, it's still getting stronger. Still growing. Still growing, believe it or not.
That's what I mean. And I'm going to just now speak openly. Like, my observation of you is that you're very important to the culture, and especially that particular genre of skating. I think you're an inspiration to the young crew in terms of individuality and the importance of being yourself, like you said. So for those reasons, I think that's why you're significant, and that's why, someone wants to give you some free boards, to keep you around and keep you inspiring. I think, you deserve that, But it's just very noble of you to go, no, I don't want to take away from some younger kids, but they'll have their time in the light too.
Yeah, as long as they still.
You had to grind it out.
Yeah, in a bit. As long as they still get it, and AHA is one of the nicest dudes going. So if there's anyone you're going to deal with, he's the best. I was supposed to pick up some Hayes trucks this week off him to set up that board I set up this morning, but didn't get round to it. But yeah, AHA's the man.
Didn't get around to it. That's so funny.
Yeah, I was busy this week. Just busy.
Heaps of work on, mate.
Yeah, just got calls because I get emergency calls all the time. So I love them because call outs are fun. You turn up, it's like water pissing out the ceiling or something.
People stressing.
Oh,
mate, plumbers are they can be the biggest lifesavers, guy. Like, if you have a water leak, all you want is a plumber. They become God.
Yeah.
Well, I had it here. I had actually recently a tap burst, and because I didn't know where the main was for the actual unit, and it was water spraying, and my kids are freaking out. I'm like, found the main, but still, when the plumber turned up, I could have hugged him.
Yeah, emergency call outs are the best because you get to come. It's like it's like being a fiery for a minute. You get to come and save the day.
See, look at you, action man, loves a bit of action.
Yeah, I love it. Like the emergency work's fun as.
So good, dude. Actually, I might get you to have a bit of plumbing around here, Lachie, while you're here. No, I'm joking. Well, listen, man, it's been so epic, and I don't know. What are we gonna do for the rest of the day, you reckon? Whoa. That's the outro music.
Yeah, we're outroing. We'll go skate. Neil, I haven't seen it yet. Go and try and get something on this vert wall.
Yeah, man. So keep a lookout. I'm going to do another Hanging Out With episode. Me and Lachie are going to go skating. I'll film him. I've got a new camera rig, so look out for it. So, Mr. Lachie Abbott, everyone.
Cheers, Shan. Thanks for having me on.
See ya.
See ya.